Are you looking to draw nearer to your Creator in your recovery, ready to practice the 11th step and see what God's will for your life is? Hi, I'm Adam Vibe Gunton, founder and executive director of Recovered on Purpose. Today, we're diving into the 11th step from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which helps us to improve our conscious contact with God. This step is about strengthening our connection to the God who guides us, brings peace to our lives, and empowers us to live a fulfilling and purposeful life in our recovery every day. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get weekly recovery content, and you can find free recovery resources on our website, recoveredonpurpose.org. So let's dive in. First, what is the 11th step and what does it mean? The 11th step says, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. This step emphasizes two core practices, prayer and meditation. They're tools to deepen our awareness of God's presence and learn to rely on His guidance. Through prayer, we speak to God, sharing our needs, our gratitude, and our struggles. Prayers spoken out loud and not in our head are divinely powerful, and I highly recommend the practice in your alone time with God. In meditation, we create space to listen, to be still, to receive, and to feel God's peace and direction. This is where we are silent and allow thoughts to come and go as they please while listening to God for His guidance. Next, why does the 11th step matter for long-term recovery? Improving conscious contact isn't just about avoiding relapse. It's about living with purpose and experiencing real freedom on our recovery. Many of us have lived with fear, isolation, and pain for significant periods of our lives. But when we make time each day to connect with God, it strengthens our faith and gives us the courage to live differently than we did in our addiction. This connection is a foundation we can lean on through life's ups and downs, which are inevitable in recovery. With it, we don't just survive the struggles. We learn and thrive, fully present and aware, living in alignment with God's will. Now, let's talk about how to pray as someone who has not practiced prayer or been taught how. I remember near the end of my addiction, I wanted to start praying, but I didn't really know how. It may seem simple to many who have prayed through a church their whole lives, but I hadn't, and no one had taught me. I went to the pastor of the church I was attending in Billings, Montana, and was in his office with him and asked him to teach me. He said, okay, well, let's start like this. If you could say anything to God right now, thank Him for anything, ask for anything, or just tell Him about anything, what would it be? I began telling my pastor something like, I would want to thank Him for helping me to this point and for saving me. But I also really need help staying sober. I'm struggling with it, and I'm just really sick of this life. When I finished, my pastor said, Amen. And he stood up, lesson finished, and I got the message. God is not trying to get us to say super developed religious style prayers of perfection. This step is just about improving our contact with Him. And it is as simple as having an out loud conversation with Him as if He is a person in the room. Except this is the God that has all knowledge and power in the entire universe, so we can talk to Him about things as deep and important as we feel. One approach to begin with is starting with gratitude. Thank God for the gifts in your life, both big and small. Gratitude shifts our mindset and opens our hearts. Then ask God for wisdom and clarity to know His will and for strength to follow it. In doing this, you're inviting God into every part of your life. Now for meditation and listening for God's guidance. Meditation is where we make room to hear God's voice. We live in a busy world full of distractions, so it can be challenging to quiet our minds. But meditation doesn't require anything fancy. It could be a few minutes of silence, breathing deeply, and focusing your mind on God's love and presence. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and just relax. Picture yourself in God's presence, safe, loved, and understood. Focus on your breathing, releasing any tension or worry with each exhale. As you breathe in, invite God's peace to fill you. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back, repeating a simple phrase like, God, I'm listening, or Lord, guide me. Over time, this practice helps you feel God's presence more consistently, even in moments of stress or temptation. I also have a guided meditation for addicts in recovery you can find at the end of this video. Finally, let's talk about seeking God's will, not our own. In step 11, we're encouraged to pray for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. This step invites us to release our need for control and trust that God's plan for us is greater than anything we could imagine. Addiction often stemmed from our attempts to escape or fill voids on our own terms. But now we have an opportunity to live differently. Seeking God's will means letting go of outcomes and allowing His guidance to lead us, even when the path isn't clear. Start each day by asking, what would you have me do today, God? God's answer may come through a sense of peace, a purpose, or a subtle direction. Over time, establishing this daily practice of prayer and meditation transforms our lives. Morning or night, spending a few moments in connection with God gives us strength and fills us with hope. God is always with us, ready to guide, comfort, and empower us through every challenge, helping us to continue living recovered on purpose. If you're ready to get started now with a guided meditation for addicts in recovery, click right here. Or if you'd like to get your mind right with some positive affirmations for addicts in recovery, click right here.